The galactic assembly had been in session for 3 stellar rotations when the primitive craft punched through the ceremonial energy barriers surrounding the Nexus station. Ambassador Vexthera's tentacles curled in disgust as she watched the crude metal vessel belch toxic fumes across the pristine docking bay, its hull scarred with what appeared to be burn marks and... Was that organic matter splattered across the nose cone? Security breach in Bay 7. Announced the station's AI in 17 different languages simultaneously. Unknown vessel has breached the perimeter. The assembly chamber fell silent. For the first time in 2,000 years, an uninvited species had crashed their most sacred gathering, the Centennial Peace Accord, where civilized races renewed their commitment to harmony, trade, and mutual understanding. Representatives from 47 star systems had traveled vast distances to participate in this ancient ritual. Captain Sarah Chun stumbled out of the airlock, her environmental suit torn and stained with something that definitely wasn't supposed to be red. Behind her, Lieutenant Rodriguez dragged a makeshift stretcher carrying their wounded engineer, while Sergeant Park brought up the rear, his rifle still smoking from whatever firefight they'd apparently just escaped. "Sorry we're late," Chen announced to the gathering of horrified alien dignitaries, pulling off her helmet to reveal matted hair and a face streaked with soot. "Had to make a slight detour through the Kytherian Nebula. Turns out those peaceful energy beings your star charts mentioned? Yeah, they're about as peaceful as a plasma storm." Ambassador ZYX Qual of the Ethereal Collective, beings of pure light who hadn't experienced physical violence in millennia, flickered with what their species considered profound shock. You engaged in combat with the Kytherians? Engaged? Rodriguez snorted, setting down the stretcher. "Lady, they tried to digest our ship. We had to fight our way out with improvised explosives and sheer bloody-mindedness." The chamber erupted in 30 different forms of distressed communication. The crystalline vortex rang like wind chimes in a hurricane, while the gaseous nebulites began expanding and contracting rapidly in their containment suits. High Arbiter Emiamnoth, eldest among the assembly, extended his massive bulk forward on his repulsor platform. His species had been organizing these peace gatherings since before most others had achieved spaceflight. "Young ones," he rumbled in the ancient diplomatic tongue, "you arrive uninvited to our most sacred ceremony, bearing weapons and the stench of conflict. By what right do you? By right of being the only idiots crazy enough to take the dangerous route through the maelstrom," Chun interrupted, causing several delegates to faint. "While you've all been sitting here having tea parties and signing non-aggression pacts, the Kytherian Collective has been expanding. They've consumed 12 systems in the past 6 months." The silence that followed was deafening. "Consumed?" whispered Ambassador Vexthera. Park activated his tactical display, projecting holographic star charts above the assembly floor. 12 systems. Gone. Billions of sentience converted to energy and absorbed. We barely escaped with sensor data proving the threat. The Kytherians signed the peace accord, Emiamnoth protested weakly. "They swore sacred oaths." "They lied," Chin said simply. "And while you were all busy being civilized, they've been building a war fleet. They'll be here in 48 hours. The assembly descended into chaos. Some delegates began evacuating immediately, while others demanded proof, verification, proper diplomatic channels. The humans stood in the center of it all, bloodied, exhausted, and completely unbothered by the fact that they just shattered 2 millennia of careful diplomatic protocol. Dr. Yates finally spoke up from where she'd been patching the engineer's wounds. "You know what the funny thing is? We actually came here to ask nicely if we could join your little peace club." She gestured at the pandemonium around them. "Classic us, though. Show up late, bloody, and uninvited, then immediately start a war." Chun grinned, her teeth white against her soot-stained face. "Well, somebody had to." As alarms began blaring across the station, signaling the approach of the Kytherian fleet, Ambassador Vexthera found herself thinking that perhaps these violent, unpredictable humans might be exactly what the galaxy needed. After all, sometimes the only way to preserve peace was to be willing to fight for it.